economic impact of this coronavirus is extremely unknown because we don't know the size, we don't know the impact, we don't know how this will spread across countries. But initially, it's not far-fetched to think that the economic impact will be huge. Mostly not because of the mortality rate that the virus has shown until now, but because of the economic measures that have been taken to undermine the spread of this virus. OECD has calculated a decline in the GDP of the world to 2.5, 2.6% this year, which is a substantial decline in the world GDP. But you can think that this can go into even a bigger impact to the world economy. China was supposed to grow this year 6%. If you think that this virus will have an impact only in the Chinese economy, assume that nowhere else, and will imply declines of 2-3% on the first quarter GDP. So I'm also assuming that will be a V effect. If that happens and then China keep growing as a normal rate, they say 6% per year, that will imply that the Chinese GDP will go down almost 4 to 5%. Actually, if you do 2%, minus 2% in the first quarter, and 6% in yearly basis in the next 3 quarters, the GDP of China will grow this year just 1%. That 1% growth implies that the world will grow 1.3% this year. That is a very, very, very low rate of growth for the world economy, and that assuming that the impact is only on China. Add to this the potential impact on commodity exporter countries, on Korea, on Italy, and the rest, and we can arrive very easily to a global recession due to the coronavirus.
So 2 things come out of this. The first one is that we have to be very careful about the policies that are undertaken. The Fed, for example, has been pumping more money to the system. If I have a supply shock, if I have a problem with the value chain, you can dump all the money of the world, that won't have any effect. But the real problem is not being fixed. Secondly, whatever is the behavior of the virus, did we have a long-term effect? One thing that this virus has done is to make it clear that to have a dependency on China in the value chain is extremely risky. So whatever happens, we will see in the future spread of this value change. And that might imply a decline in the rate of growth of the world because we will lose efficiency. The trade war plus the coronavirus might be the elements that will trigger a process of deglobalization in the world. This has not been the trend since 1970s. Since the 1970s that we have seen a trend toward globalization and toward a better use of the resources around the world. If we are going to a deglobalization, a balkanization, however you want to call it, the long-term rate of growth of the world will tend to decrease. And this is something that we have to be careful.